Hello, contractors, and welcome to Toolbox for the Trades. My name is Jackie Aubel, and I am live here at Pantheon 2025. You may hear a little bit of murmuring, a little bit of mumbling in the background, but that's because we are in the thick of it at ServiceTitan's annual user conference. But trust me, you are not going to want to miss today's episode. I hope you enjoy it as much as I did. Chris Gist, you are the Regional VP of the Gulf Coast of Leap Service Partners. Thank you for joining me live at Pantheon 2025. Welcome to Toolbox for the Trades.
Thanks for having me.
I am so excited to chat with you. Right before we started recording, you started telling me about your harrowing surgery journey across many of your different bones and tendons and all that stuff.
Yep.
Holy cow, I feel like you're probably like mostly bionic at this point.
There's a lot of titanium in there, yeah.
A lot of titanium. Oh, it's probably not fun to go through TSA, is it?
No, it doesn't show up in TSA.
Oh,
fortunately.
Thank goodness. Thank goodness. All right. Well, I want to kick off this conversation the way that I always do, which is with an icebreaker. I would love to know, if you were a professional wrestler, what would your intro song be?
Oh, Undead by Hollywood Undead.
Undead by Hollywood Undead. What kind of band is Hollywood Undead? I'm a big music fan, which is why I love this question.
It's rock.
Rock? Like, is it, like, give me a tangential band to Hollywood Dead.
Closer to metal, but it's got a little bit of some rap to it.
Oh, okay.
It's a newer version of what Limp Bizkit was back in the day, maybe. I don't know how to really
Limp Bizkit
compare.
is kind of having a revival. I don't know if you've noticed.
They're trying.
Limp Bizkit is really trying hard to get in there. And, you know, some of those songs are pretty iconic. So, you know, I give them credit.
Yeah.
So how did you get into the trades, Chris?
I started off being a supervisor of some sort at 18 years old, and I ended up getting into commercial roofing sales. And I traveled across 8 states for 2 years chasing hailstorms. When we moved to Florida, I decided that I was done traveling because I was missing out on my kid's life, and I took a job with who is now my current business partner, Justin Deese, and I was his office manager for his plumbing company.
Oh, great.
So he sold his plumbing company, and then I started my own.
Amazing. So he sold his plumbing company and you started your own plumbing company, or?
Yep, Paradise Plumbing is what it was in the beginning.
Okay, awesome. And at this point, how much plumbing experience did you have?
None. What my dad taught me to do when I was younger.
Sure. Like, you know, open up the lid, adjust a chain. That should be fine,
Yeah,
right?
I could solder pipes and stuff, but yeah, nothing. I didn't know the codes on anything, so.
Okay, cool. So you knew the plumbing side of things a little bit from working with Justin, and then you were like, okay, let me just start my own thing.
Yep. So we actually partnered up with our lead plumber from Justin's company and started a company, and then eventually I bought him out.
All right, really cool. And do you come from a family of contractors?
Nope, my dad was a machinist.
Ah, so what was it that brought you into the roofing industry to start?
I got tired of working in retail and restaurants and wanted to get out in the field, and the guy that actually hired me to do the roofing job gave me a shot. He said, if you have any PTO that you can use at your current job, why don't you come run with us for 2 days and see what you can do, since I'd never done sales before. Mm-hmm. And I actually got 3 contracts signed up on that 2-day trial. So
amazing.
I was like, ooh, let's do this.
Sounds like a lot better than doing retail or restaurant work,
yes.
For sure. So you started off in the trades fairly young, pivoting from restaurant and retail stuff. Eventually, you got together with Justin Deese and his plumbing company when you settled down in the Panhandle of Florida. Justin sold his company in private equity, and you're like, let me do my own thing. So tell me, what was day one of Paradise like?
Oh, man.
And what year was it, by the way?
2019, January 1st.
Okay.
It was rough. I mean, there was weeks that we didn't take paychecks to make sure that our team was paid. Some weeks we would take $500. I mean, it was, the first few months was really rough, but we ended up taking it from 0 to 1.2 million in the first year. So after year 1, it was a little smoother sailing. It was very difficult in the beginning. And we just bought, $1,200 vans that looked like it had a free puppy sign on the side of it. Everything was rough, and we worked out of a house, and we had to work on the vans in the front yard to keep them running. It was
Yeah. So you had one normal year, 2019, and then the pandemic hit. And how did that affect your business?
Well, fortunately for us, we're in Florida, so Florida took it a lot easier than the rest of the country did.
Sure,
but
yeah.
I gave my office ladies the option to work from home if they wanted to. 2 of them did. One of them did for like a week, and she couldn't take it and had to come back. She's now going to be the general manager of Paradise since I've got my promotion. But that was it. It was like maybe a month, and everybody was back in the office. The initial scare for a week or two kind of
wore off,
dropped everybody from wanting to do anything, but then our numbers actually ended up going up because of it.
Interesting. And where exactly in Florida are you operating out of? I said the Panhandle, but I think we can be more specific.
Navarre, Florida. It is right in the middle of Pensacola and Destin. We're the only bridge that goes over to the Gulf in between
Okay, cool.
the two. So, and then we have another branch in Panama City.
And at this point, are you just doing residential service and replacement? Are you doing commercial, new construction?
Residential service and replacement. If we
Oh,
do any commercial, it's less than 5% and it's light commercial.
okay, got it. So first few months of being in business, you and your lead plumber, you're foregoing paychecks because you're like, we're just going to get this thing started. Did you have aspirations to sell to private equity right at the top?
No, not in the beginning. I did not. Not when we started Paradise Plumbing. Fast forward, merging with Justin Deese on his 2-year anniversary of selling his company. So it was his non-compete ended, and that day actually fell on a Sunday. So the following day, the day after his 2-year non-compete, we signed papers and merged our companies. Justin Deese is very motivated. He has a great mind and he moves quickly with things. So when we merged, the goal at that time was we would like to sell the company in 5 years.
Okay.
So once we took Paradise Plumbing, he had a restoration company at the time, and it was called Element 850. We merged that with my plumbing company and changed the name to Paradise Home Services, knowing that in the future we would like to add HVAC and possibly electrical. At that time, we came up with the 5-year plan.
Got it. And Justin had already sold a company to private equity at that time, right? Or is this?
He actually he sold to a tuck-in to a much larger company in our area.
Got it. And we had Kristen Dees on. I recorded with her literally seconds before you and I started. So I recommend folks check out that episode as well. So once Justin's non-compete ended, you guys decided to merge forces and, okay, let's make the 5-year plan. So what does that 5-year plan look like?
We just wanted to grow as quick as we could. We tried to base everything around culture. It's really huge in our brand. You can't miss our vans. They look like rolling tiki huts or tiki bars. Our technicians wear Hawaiian shirts.
Oh, that's so fun, actually.
Yeah, we didn't want to be the regular company where you have to wear pants and you have to have a belt on and tuck your shirt in, and we wanted to fit the area that we lived. So we created a culture where everybody enjoyed coming to work. We've had, in the last 5 years, maybe 6 people leave to go get a job somewhere else that ended up coming back. We don't have a whole lot of turnover at our location. So the culture was a big part of it. And then obviously massive revenue growth. The first 3 years we doubled in revenue each year.
That probably was really easy. Probably no sweat off your back.
Yeah, no.
Super low key. Probably home every day by 4 p.m.
Yeah,
Right? That's
yeah.
what I'm imagining.
Yeah. In the very beginning, right, it was a week after we merged, Hurricane Sally hit our area.
Oh, shoot.
And because we had the restoration side with it, Justin and I were working 70 to 80 hours a week. It was rough. And it was, even though we were making a lot more revenue than I was in year one, because we were growing so quickly, we were still taking money out of our personal accounts to help the business grow. So it was a
Dang.
struggle, but
Yeah. Okay. So you got some natural disasters that are pushing business. What else? What else were you doing to achieve the level of revenue growth that you were hoping to in that 5-year plan?
obviously good marketing. And then Justin has another company up in Atlanta where he works with big box stores for appliance connections and that kind of thing. But he has a good relationship with them. And in his previous plumbing company, we did all of the water heaters and plumbing repairs for Home Depot. So he got us
nice.
back in the door for that. And now we're in 11 Home Depots and all for plumbing. We're in 6 for HVAC, and soon we'll be in the rest of them for HVAC. So that's probably 35% of our business currently. That was a big help in raising the revenue. And then obviously just good training and giving options and utilizing the tools that are in ServiceTitan.
Yeah.
So
Well, Brittany Burgess, who runs our Torch Network, is one of the people that really was like, you should talk to Chris because he was able to grow his company at such a rapid pace. I mean, that is really impressive. The fact that you started in 2019 and I told your job title at the top of this interview. And if people recall, it seems like you were successful.
yeah, I guess so. Yeah, it surprises me even. I even said that to my sister last week. I was like,
Really?
Who'd have thought your brother would have done this? Yeah, and our 5-year plan, we actually did it in 3. So we sold the company after year 3.
Holy cow. So what was there a specific, when you guys like set out this plan, you're like, okay, we want to create this asset, we want to sell it to private equity. What was your guidepost? Were you working towards a specific revenue number, a specific profit margin? What was it?
We were trying to hit 10 million in revenue was our original goal. We actually went to Service World and we took our leadership team and their spouses, and everybody had the Hawaiian shirts on for the convention. And once everybody saw our brand, we started getting our doors knocked down for people that were wanting to buy us. So we were getting multiple calls a month, letters in the mail, and it went on for about a year, and we started vetting them, obviously. And I guess because we were being pushed so hard, it sparked our interest a little earlier than we were prepared for. Leap Service Partners was the best one to fit our culture.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of horror stories out there about some private equity companies, and
Yeah.
it's not a hostile takeover. They don't really want to change anything that you do other than if you're not on ServiceTitan, they'd like to get you on ServiceTitan. They respect how you run your business and they let you do it. There's a lot of growth opportunity. Obviously with me, I just got my promotion. The networking that we have between the legacy owners that stayed on as GMs, none of the GMs have left the company.
So the other folks that Leap has worked with, they didn't leave after their earnout period ended or they didn't exit. They're all still GMs of the companies that they built.
Correct.
That has to be rewarding because then you still are able to take a lot of pride in this brand that's growing, but you don't necessarily have to worry about making payroll every 2 weeks.
Yeah, it's nice when the liability is somebody else's.
I know. That's generally what I hear. But I don't want to skim over what you just said. So your team had this really eye-catching brand, Paradise Home Services. The trucks looked like mobile tiki huts. You had this brand that was so eye-catching and so captivating that just your team going to a conference, wearing your brand, representing your brand, had private equity knocking on your doors a lot earlier than you anticipated, which I think is such an important lesson for folks listening about the importance of brand.
Yeah.
So talk to me a little bit about that.
Well, I mean, even in simple marketing, the branded searches cost you less than the other ones, as it should. So the more that you can make an impact on your community, when they realize I need a plumbing problem fixed, they're like, I remember that van, I'll call them. So standing out is a huge key to marketing and a huge key to revenue growth. Being part of the community. We do events in the community and we give out lays while we're wearing our shirts, and everybody likes those. They're the nice fancy ones. But brand awareness is very huge in the industry, especially with all the competition there is nowadays.
Yeah, we've talked about brand quite a bit on this show that's been going for a couple of years now, and it is really, when you find a good brand and you really lean into it, it's like lightning hits. It can really elevate your brand and increase your growth. So I want to hear a little bit more about when you were growing Paradise, right? In those so from start to sell, 3 years?
After merging with Justin to sell was 3 years.
Okay, so how long were you doing it on your own before you merged Justin too?
About a year and a half, maybe a little more.
But so still, I mean, I can only imagine that it felt like just getting sprayed in the face with a fire hose at given times.
It did. And then when we sold it, it was bittersweet. It's like, that's my baby and now it's not my baby. So it took a while to adjust to that too. But yeah, it was very quick and intense.
Yeah. I'm curious because you worked for other businesses. Now you're in this ownership role. What were some of the things that surprised you the most about being in that leadership role in a really fast-paced growth environment?
The connection with the team, I think. You get really close to them, and then there's an obligation that it's not just my employees that I have to take care of, but I also have to make sure that their families are fed too. So it's not, if I got 40 people on my team, it's not really 40. It's probably closer to 100, 150. So that connection is strong and it's real, and it drives you to do better, make good decisions, and be there for them.
Tommy Mello actually said that to me. It was one of the first interviews I did, and where he mentioned that. And I was like, oh, I didn't even think about the impact there. If you're an empathetic person, like you're thinking not just about your team members, but you're thinking about all the mouths that their salary feeds.
Anytime that we would do an interview with somebody from out of state that was going to move there, we would ask them to bring their spouse on the Zoom call as well so that they could interview us. We want to make sure it's a good fit for them too, not just for us. So yeah, we try to keep it family.
Do a lot of out-of-state recruiting?
Yeah, everybody wants to move to Florida. Our community we don't have a whole lot of population. So some of the technicians have worn out their welcome. Some of them are really good and they just stay where they're at. So at times you got to pull from out of state to get good talent.
Yeah, that makes sense. When you look at those 5 years, is there anything that really sticks out as this is not something that I knew about, but now I've gotten really good at it?
Paying attention to my gross profit margin in all of my other managerial roles, you usually wait until the P&L comes out to find out if you were successful or not.
Yeah.
And now we pay attention to it in live time. So I know what we're trending for the month, and when the P&L comes out, I'm within a point or two of where I thought we would be. So we've gotten really good at that.
That's awesome. So you're not necessarily surprised at the end of every month and you're able to pivot and change accordingly.
Yep.
What did you find was the most like, since you guys had such high revenue goals due to this want to sell, what were some of the best tactics you used to increase call volume?
Again, just good marketing. So I don't know what the actual numbers are. I hear that like if you're content that you should be around 4 to 8% in spend on marketing. If you're looking for rapid growth, 10 to 15, maybe more. So we were pushing that 12% mark for that reason. We were just trying to blow it up as quick as we could. And like I said, we just kept investing everything that we were making. So it wasn't, on paper, it didn't look all that profitable in the beginning, but as far as EBITDA goes, once you take away the ad backs and everything, we did better than we were thinking we were going to do. But yeah, just investing in marketing. If you want to grow, you've got to spend it to get it.
So starting in October, you're officially taking on this title of VP of the Gulf Coast at Leap Service Partners. So I imagine, so what is that new role going to entail? You're going to be overseeing Paradise and a bunch of other businesses?
As of now, it will be 4, and we're just constantly getting new acquisitions. That we were the first brand in Florida, so they're just now starting to get that far south. We operate out of the southeast, basically from the Boot Hill of Missouri over to West Virginia and then down. But we've got some other prospects that are getting close, so there will be more brands added soon. But we have one in Destin, one in Panama City, one in Navarre, and one down in the Tampa area currently. So those 4 will be mine.
How do you feel about that?
I'm excited.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'm excited. I was kind of getting burnt out in my current roles and ready for a new challenge. So this is going to be awesome.
I love that. I love that. So not your first Pantheon, correct?
This is my 4th.
Your 4th. So what has got you really excited about this conference so far? And what are you excited to implement back at your brands when you get back home to Florida?
I mean, everything's AI, right? So
isn't it wild? I've been talking to people. I'm like, man, I feel like 2 years ago at Pantheon, we were like, AI, check it out. And now it's like most of the vendors are AI. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but it is wild.
You're right. I'm trying not to be that stubborn old man that refuses to get with the times.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm trying to take away from this week, is to implement more automation and AI in the things that I do.
Yeah, yeah. When it comes to ServiceTitan in general, because you mentioned that Leap, if they acquire a business that isn't already on ServiceTitan, they want to get them on there, right? What are some of the things in ServiceTitan that you like to look at for your personal business to make sure that like things are running in the right direction and they're working correctly?
So I have a basic spreadsheet that I use. Like I was saying earlier, I track my gross profit margin almost daily. And I have this basic spreadsheet that I plug in the revenue. I go into our inventory system and check returns. And then I go to job costing report and pull how much materials we used or POs that we needed for the jobs. And then I go to the timesheet summary report and I plug that in and it tells me, and I have it for each division. So we have HVAC for Panama, HVAC for Navarre, and then I have the whole team thing as well. And it all formulates over. But those are the reports that I use almost daily to keep a good tab on where the company is at.
Love that. That's great. So another question from the 5-year rapid period of your life, right? Like this fire hose time. Was there ever a point in that 5 years, was there ever a moment where you were like, F it, I'm done, I'm quitting, I want to like fill my pocket filled with stones and walk into the ocean?
And maybe in the beginning when it was really tough and I wasn't making much salary of my own, it seemed like maybe it was a better decision to just go back to working for the man, but I'm glad that I didn't. And then this earn out period from selling the company was pretty stressful, but we did well. So yeah, like I said, fire hose, it's been a crazy 5 years.
Yeah. Well, the reason I asked is because like, I'm sure there's folks listening right now that are going through it. Maybe they're not trying to sell to private equity as rapidly as you were, or maybe they're just really going through a valley, right, in their business right now. So what advice would you give to folks who are really struggling right now, having been someone who's very much been there himself?
If you're not part of a network group that, a mastermind group or whatever, be part of one. Like reach out to people, especially nowadays in the trades. People are open to talking to other companies. I mean, there's companies in my city that I help.
Yeah.
There's plenty of work for everybody. Reach out to somebody and get help, get advice, whatever you need to move past the hurdle. There's plenty of help out there, and there's plenty of things that we can use nowadays online that can get you from point A to point B. So
take a deep breath, think about your options.
Yeah.
I love that. This is really an incredible story. The fact that you started at the top of 2019 and you're sitting here with me in September 2025, about to take on a VP role at the private equity firm that you sold your business to. Holy cow, like sit in that and relish in it. That is an incredible success. And thank you for stopping by with me and sharing a bit about your journey. This is really, really cool.
I appreciate it.
I'm excited to see where Leap is going to take you in the years to come.
Yeah, and if anybody in the Southeast is interested in selling, get a hold of me, because Leap is a great equity company to work for.
Awesome. Well, Chris, thanks so much for joining Toolbox for the Trades.
All right, thank you.